Okay, so this tutorial is going to show you how to get your historical transactions down to the line item detail out of QuickBooks and into Salesforce. So we have another video that shows how to get the main invoice in as an opportunity, and now we're going to add the product line item detail. So depending on the version of the version of QuickBooks that you're using, that'll kind of determine how you get that detail out. This version, I actually have a Mac version, but it's very similar to the other desktop versions. So what you'll want to do, at least in this one, is go to Reports, choose Sales, and we want Sales by Item Detail. Okay, so then you'll want to choose your transaction date, the date time frame. And then there's some columns on here that we don't need, and then some we need to add. So what I'm going to do is go to my options here. I need the transaction number. I can actually remove the left margin. I don't need that. I need the date. I'll keep the number on there. The name, which is the customer name. I don't need the memo. I can choose to add ship and delivery dates. I'm going to choose not to. Same thing on terms, due date, all of those. You can bring those in, again, to keep it simple. I'm not going to pull those in. The other things I need item, I need item description. Let me just double check here, make sure that's everything. Again, rep is optional. If you want to add rep, you can. And quantity, sales price, amount. I don't need balance. Okay. Choose OK. So your report should look something like this. Again, you definitely need the transaction number, the date, the customer, item description, quantity, sales price, and amount. And then we just hit export. And here is my report. Now, a lot of this I don't need. Again, we need to get this in a clean format. So I'm going to delete this. I can delete these columns here. Don't need those. Need to get rid of this space. And then to get this finally all cleaned up with just the information we need, I'm going to choose to sort this by the transaction number. And actually the easiest way to get this cleaned up is to turn this into a table. So I'm going to highlight all of my information and put it in I don't even need those last rows, put it in a tabular format. Okay, so now it looks like this. Again, just doing some cleanup, and I'll show you our final product, what it should look like. I am going to select all of these, and I want to get rid of these blanks. I don't need them. So I highlighted the blanks. What I'm going to do is delete all of these blank rows that I don't need. Okay. So now if I just remove my filter, there we go. This is what your final product should look like, something like this. Okay, so now that we have all of this, it's a good idea to rename these columns so that they match with what the terminology is in Salesforce. So if you want to rename these, this one is our transaction number. Oops. Widen that out. This is transaction type, and some of these aren't as important, but I just want to give you the full breadth of everything. This number we don't need. This is the customer name, which we actually won't need, but this column E we do, and we're going to rename this product name using the Salesforce nomenclature, and this will be the line description. Change QTY to quantity, sales price, and amount. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And forgot to do this. We actually have to save this as a .csv. So it has to be a CSV file for the import. So let's go ahead and call this CSV. I'm going to just save it to my desktop to keep it simple. All right. Continue. All right, so now we just kind of set this aside for a second. And the next tool we're going to use is Data Loader, is what it's called. So this is dataloader.io. That's the URL you want to go to, and then log in with your Salesforce credentials to production. Okay, and then we're going to do a new task. This is going to be an import. We're going to choose Insert and then find Opportunity Product. Opportunity Product is what we're using. Now I'm going to upload that file that we just saved and set aside. There it is. Okay, so a lot of this that we did already mapped the information we need. So sales price, quantity, line description. Now the unique and kind of tricky thing here is now we have to match this to our opportunity ID and our product, our price book entry ID. Because we preserved the transaction number and we have the transaction number on the opportunity when we did the import of just invoices, we can use this to map against the opportunity ID. So what you want to do is find your transaction field, hit select, and choose this opportunity ID, and we're going to do a lookup to the ID via the transaction number. So find transaction number. We'll tell it insert null if no match is found. Hopefully it will find a match and all of your products do match up. And then the other thing we have to do a lookup to is the product. So you'll find product name, select that, choose price book entry ID, and we're doing a lookup via product name. Okay? And then let's look at everything that we have mapped, make sure we have all the required fields. So we've got transaction number we're using for the opportunity ID, the product date, the product name, the line description, the quantity, and the sales price. Now I can tell you already looking at this that this is going to throw an error. It's going to throw an error. It's going to allow me to do the import, but this anything that you have as a 0 that does not have at least a quantity is not going to import, and it'll give you an error. So you'll want to clean up your data file, which I didn't take the time to do, but you'll want to do that. Make sure you don't have any zeros, and make sure you don't have any blank sales price. That'll also give you an error. But again, this is just for demo purposes, so then you'll just choose Next, and then save and run. This file does not actually go to my demo org, so it's going to fail on me. But if you follow these exact steps and do the import just like this, and all of your products match between Salesforce and QuickBooks, you shouldn't run into that. I'm going to hit run. I already know it's going to give me errors, which is fine because, again, this is just for demo purposes. And that is it. After that, all of your opportunities will have product line items on them. Yep, exactly what I thought. But you should have the successes there. If you do have errors, you can always just click on this link and look at the error file and see where you went wrong in your data. But that is the quick version on how to import your historical transactions down to the line item level.